Guys, we're back at it working on the K20. Got a couple things we're going to try to do. So now I definitely got to keep everything on the cheap because our hours are getting pretty tight at work. So we have to definitely watch how much money I spend from here on out. So this truck was already a budget build, but now it's going to be a big time budget build. But and I went and bought a roll of wire. Went to the thrift store looking around. Actually found a whole nother roll, brand new in the plastic from Lincoln. First little 110 welder, $3, man, for a whole roll. I couldn't believe that. I went to the store and paid freaking $14 for a new one there. But we got these plates. She's wanting to get tail lights put on this thing. So we got some local spots where we can go full wheeling that. But you know, to get it on the street, we definitely need to get functioning lights. So I was just going to get some trailer lights. We're going to put these plates on, make it to where we can mount some trailer lights on each side for the back, for, you know, brake lights, turn signals, and all that hoopla stuff. This one I need to ground down some, the weld on it so it sets flat. Weld those plates in place. Still got to finish up around underneath here. All 4 of the plates for the to hold the bed down. There's kind of like bugger welded into place, so we're going to try to do a better job on them. And the step for the driver's door, like I had on the passenger side, we're going to try to get that one in today. So I don't know how long the weather's going to hold out. And so hopefully long enough to get some of this done. And came out in the front tire. Well, I got it aired up now, but the front tire was down to about 5 pounds. So the guy I did buy these off of, when he put them on these wheels, he did say he only replaced 3 of the valve stems. He had the wheels, bought the tires, took them off those wheels, put them on these, but he said 3 of the valve stems he replaced, and then one of them he didn't get to, so apparently it's this one. So at some point I'll have to do that. And we had our little tug-of-war deal going. I got something leaking oil in the front here. I mean, you can see it on this. It was spraying pretty good. We didn't even know it was leaking. No engine smoke or anything, but after the truck was shut off, I backed it up, and you can see on the ground, you can see a splatter of oil, but it kind of looks like possibly, I'm going to check the pan, see if it needs snugged up, because the whole front, like down around the pan, maybe the front sill area right in there somewhere, looked like either the front sill was leaking or possibly the oil pan needs snugged up. I don't know. Looks like it's hopefully something simple. But we'll go from there. And at least there's no engine noise. I think we didn't go any longer what we did. But what else was there? I'll try to get the winch out if I have time, make sure it's going to fit here. If it doesn't fit there, then we'll have to come up with something else for the bumper. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but we'll figure it out as we go along. Just wanted to try to do something with the cab corners today, but I don't think I'm going to have time. Maybe tomorrow or the next day through the week. It's just right now, it's just battling the weather. They're calling for rain every day for like the next 7 days, so we're kind of in a crunch for time. So with all that said, let me get this set up and see what we can try to get accomplished. At least get these in place and get some of these. Cause I think I got the passenger side. I have to grind it down some, see if I missed anything. But we still got the the 2 brackets on this side, the cab corner, hoopla, the inside of this. But I don't know. I don't want to waste your time. We'll get this set up and I'll get some metal cleaned up, and then we'll see what kind of damage we can do. But thankfully, I only went and got some wire. This probably be the easiest part, is getting these. But let me get this metal cleaned up, and we'll go from there. See you here in just a minute. little bit of a gap down there, but let's see. She doesn't sit quite flat, but I think we can make it work. Same way up here. I'll clean it all up some more and throw a couple spot welds in there and see what we end up with. Alright, so I'm just going to do a couple spot welds on each one, see where we're at. And this one, it dips down a little bit from where this side, these are two pieces that were joined together, and this side's a little lower than that one. So a little bit of a gap that I'll have to fill, but this, instead of being straight up like it should be, it's pitched forward a little bit. If we get a good enough weld on it, then I can take and tap it. Get a little mini sledge or something. I got a tire hammer, and we can straighten it up a little bit. So if it comes down to it, this one's pretty good. And, give her a couple love taps here and see what we end up with. Hear all that crazy hollering? That's my crazy neighbor over there. If you listen real close, you'll be able to hear her. It's not her fault. She has a mental condition. Yeah, usually don't record it, but it'll give you guys something to listen to here for a second. Well, whew, definitely tell I'm still learning. Yeah, it's a little better. Oh, jeez. Oh, damn, it smoked. That one definitely ain't going nowhere. Let's see if we can give this one a couple love taps here. I got enough cord to reach. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, we got enough. We'll make it work. Oh, Jesus, that smoke. So, I still got to get that corner. Let's see what we got. Yeah. He's holding tight. I figure I still got to go across and down the side. I still got to clean that a little better for sure. I thought I was over a little farther, but it's okay. So that's the whole idea of those is we're going to go to Harbor Freight. You can get those trailer lights there pretty cheap. So let's drill them out and hook the lights up and just run the wire down, because I still have the wiring harness underneath that goes up for the tail lights and stuff. So I'll just run them across and along the frame and hook up into the old wiring harness. Should have lights on the back. Oh, excuse me, I don't know. May not be any time soon for a trailer. Oh, excuse me. So we're probably going to have to hit some of the local mud holes once we get this thing to where we feel we can trust it to go, because it ain't far. It's only what, like less than 10 miles to get from here to there, to where we can get it to where it's we feel it's capable of, you know, going down, hitting a few trails. The trails down there ain't real severe. Some kind of deep mud holes, but nothing like god awful bad, but some stuff just to play around with. So it's not far, so if we break something on one of the trucks, we can tow it back, you know, so that's not a big issue. So now just want to get these tacked in, so I'll find the stuff I need, and I'm going to make the step for the driver's side compartment before it starts raining, because some clouds are starting to move in. So I'll get all that together and we'll be back. Alright, we're doing a step on the driver's side, but while we was in mentioned doing keeping it on the cheap, here's something I had to buy. Yep, my 4.5 inch grinder took a crap. It was from Harbor Freight. It was man, I had that thing 5 years or better. Cord right here on the inside, it all just shorted out. But, you know, 20 bucks. It's like a little over 5 years of usage out of it. You couldn't beat that. Went back. That was a few days after I got that helmet when it happened, and went back and got that one. Same price, man, 20 bucks. The only thing that was different was when I bought the first one, it came with a couple of wheels, or, you know, a grinding wheel and a cutting wheel. This one didn't come with any, but I had some, so it's, you know, no big deal. But just throwing that out there. These things, man, they work great. They're cheap. Just can't beat them, man. 20 bucks, shoot. Especially since we've got to keep everything on the cheap right now. I ain't knocking, you know, Milwaukee or DeWalt or whoever, but when you're on a tight budget, man, you can't beat Harbor Freight. Especially that last one, I got some serious good usage out of it. I cut up all kinds of stuff, scrap. You know, used to haul scrap to the salvage yard all the time, cutting stuff up. You know, all that wonderful hoopla. Let's see if I can do this without knocking over the freaking camera. But see if we can get this on here. Background. What I do? Nope. Well, maybe not. Man, it's hot out here. It's like 90 something, man. It's cooking. Apparently I have a bad ground. I know my ground clamp does need replaced. Man, it's seen better days. Thing's been through hell. Trying this. And it's hardly, man, next to no grip. It's been bent so many times. Just trying to. There we go. Freaking chain is actually a dog chain, and it's how they call it, galvanized. It throws off that real nice yellow toxic smoke. Woo! Hold your breath. Alright, we should be able to ditch this now. Let's get this other one up here real quick. At least get it tacked in there. Woo! It's hot. Right in the sun now. Come on, big fella. Give me a little something. Good enough. Good enough. Whew, it's hot. We get her? I think so. Alright, so that leaves, well, have to finish welding all that, but tighten this helmet up. Here's our footstep. Just want to try to get her to where she's sitting as level as possible, I guess. It ain't got to be perfect considering what it is, but on the cheap, homemade, it gets the job done. Alright. Give her a couple little love taps. Maybe. Nope. Let's try this. Ah. Total fail, bro. Told you I don't know what I'm doing. Bad idea. Alright. Let's try really burning into her this time. Like I said, I am definitely an amateur at this. Probably could have cleaned the metal a little better, I guess. Hope that holds a little better. And hopefully I don't fall off on the trail. It's stuck to run over that. There we go. I was thinking about damn helmet. Our local, well, won't be able to do it anytime soon because of COVID, but our local community college, they do, of course I can't get it back where I need it, but anyway, they do welding courses. Think about doing that. You know, just since we got, you know, so much to do on these trucks, and get a better welder, learn the proper way to do some stuff. I'll admit it, I'll be the first one to tell you. And when it comes to welding, I don't have a freaking clue, man. Just hit it and hope for the best. I got some friends of mine that do it, so. All else fails, call them. Oh, good enough for the minute. So as you guys can see, I am definitely not the world's best welder. But good enough to get the job done for now. Well, I mean, that I'll definitely do better than what it is, but whew, it's hot. So still gotta get up there, get up around this chain, get it started, and I'll finish this up. I don't want to hold you guys up any longer with that. It's pretty boring watching me sit here and talk garbage and show you I don't know what I'm doing. So I'll get this finished up, and then we'll move on to something else. Now here's the aftermath of me acting like I know what I'm doing. Like I said, it's a learning process, but they're still wet with undercoating. I don't want to touch them, but the brackets for the tail lights, got them all welded up, pretty solid. I got the angle iron for the back, finally got it done, got in there, down the corners, across the bottom, inside and outside, on both sides. Yeah, this bracket's done too, and I did try the handheld torch because I don't have cutting torches. I was talking to a guy at work. He's actually an electrician. He comes in and does a bunch of work for us, and he told me to, I was talking to him about running some wire for me so I can get a bigger welder. Because, you know, all I have is the wired 110 with the flux core wire. That's he was saying for the stuff here. He said if I'm thinking it's too thick, so he's telling me to heat it up with get that propane torch, heat the metal up real good, and get it as clean as I can. And if I had to, make 2 passes, and that seemed to work all right. It's hard to see through this garbage, but I mean, I'm not the world's best welder, but We got it inside and out on the rear. The plates came out pretty good. I didn't get a chance to do the main brackets, so I still got to get in there and clean that up because they have paint on them. And footstep, it's done, it's solid. It ain't going nowhere. So spend a little extra time on it, getting it to burn in. And it's still got some decent heat penetration on it, so kind of happy with that. So I jumped up and down on it. It ain't going nowhere. So, and the depressing part is I dug the winch out, so I've had this thing stored in the shed for years. Thought for sure it would fit. Wouldn't you know, it don't fit. I thought for sure it would fit in between these two hooks. It's just a little too wide. So I don't know what I'm going to do now, because I definitely don't have the money for a winch that's not as wide as this little Harbor Freight. It's a 12,000 pounder. It's brand new. I mean, you can't tell it. I bought it brand new years ago, stuck it in the shed, and it's just been in the shed. And yeah, it's had straw put on it for dog houses. It's like rats have pissed on it, and but it's all brand new. You just can't tell it by looking at it. But so I don't know what I'm going to do now. Because I got these because I wanted them hooked into the frame, because I happened to weld these. Well, they're welded and bolted together, the two pieces of angle iron. And I was going to take and cut some to go, from top to bottom, so if the winch is being used and it's pulling, it doesn't, the force being put down, it doesn't try to fold the angle iron over. So, man, I thought for sure this thing would fit in there, but it's definitely a few inches off, and I really don't want to move the hooks any farther out because they're like right dead into the, practically right into the frame. So they're pretty secure there, so I have to figure out something with that later. So we're getting there, man. It's I still got to I have it somewhere, the piece for this to drop it down and hook the brake line up solid. I haven't had time to go get the bushings for this yet. And man, we're getting so close to having it done. I didn't have time today to look to figure out what the oil, well, you can see clear out here where it's oil soaked from whatever that was in there, so I haven't had time for that. Just constantly been in the house, out of the house, welding, into the house, out of the house, welding, so, and we're getting ready to leave, so that doesn't help much either. And that footstep's down in the cab corners. Still got to get this piece trimmed off. I'm not sure yet how we're going to do those. This stuff's so thin. Me being inexperienced with that welder, I don't know if I'll be able to, what I'll be able to do. So I have to figure out something on that. I'm afraid if, me personally, if I start welding on it, and I'm not really hip to the welding scene yet, so I'll probably end up just melting away on that. So I have to figure something out, do some research, and adjust my settings and all that hoopla, try to make something work. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty, man, finally. And I know I'm forgetting some stuff, I always am. I still got to mount the battery, the transmission lines, just so close to being done with this thing. Thankfully, that front tire, I'm going to have to break it down and clean around the rim, put a new valve stem on it. No big deal. It's easy. These 44s break down easy. The bigger the tire, the easier it are to break down. That's pretty much it for this. I mean, I still got, get that, mount it down, get the other battery out of here, get the fuel filter on it. And I still haven't located the back glass yet. But all of my finds are in another state, or if they're closed, people are wanting, so much money for them. It's ridiculous. That about sums it up. I'm going to hold you guys up. I mean, I kind of got a lot done today, and I kind of didn't. Kind of depends on how you look at it. It's hard to get anything done in this heat. But at least we're in the shade. And I'll have to wrap this one up for today. I just wanted to give a shout out to my dad. He called me today and found out he had has the COVID. Kind of has me worried because he has a rare lung disease, and he's on oxygen, and found out today he wasn't feeling good. Went and got tested and tested positive for the virus, so that's got me kind of worried. And so I wish him the best. I just want him to know we love him, and I'll keep checking up on him. And he gave me action when I was talking to him. I was telling him about that transfer case, that problem we had in that last video, or not the last video, the video before, when we was moving the K5 with the transfer case, where this was, actually, oh, you can't even see it, where we was losing power to the rear, only had the front. He said, I've never done this. Actually, I've had one Blazer with a 203 in it, and I had it for a real short period of time. Actually didn't use it for full on. Just bought it, had it for a few months and got rid of it, but it had a 203 in it, and I never really got to use it. So this is actually the first 203 we've had. Everything else I've had is always had a 205 in it. It's a 205. My other Blazer had a 208, and this K5 I have now has an Atlas. But he was telling me these full-time 203s, said you could take them apart and put that kit in them so you could run lockouts and all that. He said so it's possible that there's an issue in there with that, but it doesn't. That's what I was telling you. It doesn't look like it's ever been a part to me, but so we'll see. Because I'm wanting to gonna make a video so I could show him to where it. Because you know, I've talked to a few other people too, and they're having a hard time understanding what I'm talking about with running it. Just runs like a split case. You know, because my Atlas and my K5 does it. You can take it out, you can put it in front wheel drive only. This, for some reason, is doing the same thing. It has low lock, low, neutral, high, and high lock. And even with the hubs locked in or out, either one, it doesn't matter how you do it. If it's low lock or low, whichever one you put it into, it will disengage the rear axle assembly and only spin the front. And you put it in the other, and it engages all, you know, all four tires, which for me is kind of weird. So I've never seen anything like that, so I was going to make a video of it so I could show him. And so to do it, I don't know, might chain it to back the K5 back up, maybe hook them back together and wet it down, not try to drag the K5 across the yard, but just enough to show, to, you know, to get the point across to what I'm talking about, because a lot of people are having a hard time understanding what I'm, you know, trying to explain to them. And just kind of odd. I've never seen anything like that from, you know, without aftermarket parts being installed to where you can put in a twin shifter or whatever, you know. So I'm kind of looking forward to making that video. I'm just hoping I don't, you know, this day in a 44, I don't break something doing it. You know, I ain't gonna, you know, crank the tires to beat hell, but you know, I have to get them to spin just to prove my point. And so I'm kind of looking forward to that. So we'll see. And Dad, I wish you well, and everybody, thanks for watching. And if you could get people to subscribe, man. I'm trying to get the channel to grow, and we're on a tight budget. I'll be back to doing one of these trucks when I can afford it, because I'm losing my hours, and trying to get some stuff ready for the winter as far as like leaf blowers and stuff like that. And so we'll be doing some of that here too. I happened to come across some that's it was a good deal, practically free. I don't know if they run or not, but we'll figure it out. But you guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate all the views I get. If you could, I'd appreciate it if you get some people to subscribe. Get a big thumbs up when you think it's worthy of a thumbs up. And thank you very much. And I appreciate all the views I get. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.